You know, I think I'll never forget that big rock in the Philippines. The mountains are full of it's all volcanic origin, those mountains, and they're full of big rocks. But this one was right at the bottom of an airstrip. That airstrip ran up and down the side of the mountain, and I'd gone in to get a lady out that was had been trying for 2 or 3 days to give birth and couldn't, and it was a matter of life and death. The weather was not very good, and I probably wouldn't have been flying had it not been for the fact that it was an emergency. On the approach going in, the airplane was up and down and up and down and up and down, and you really fight it to get it on the ground, especially on an airstrip that's about as wide as the wings and 600 feet long. But I landed and stopped the airplane up at the top where we had a flat spot, or flat earth, and we loaded the lady in the back, and I made her as comfortable as possible. Then I stepped out in front of the airplane and just watched, because the gusts of wind came really strong, and the airstrip was on a sort of a ridge, and the wind would come up this ridge, and the crosswind from the rear on a 3/4 crosswind, and some of those gusts were probably 25, 30 mile an hour gusts. So I stood there watching the banana leaves and the bamboo, and it would come a gust real hard. Everything would thrash around, and then it was settle down a moment, and I was trying to get the timing when those would come. And I stood there for 3 or 4 minutes watching this. Then I got in the airplane and cranked up, went through my pre-takeoff check to make sure everything was go. And then I sat there with the airplane, with the engine just idling, and again I was watching the banana leaves off there, and waiting for a calm moment, or a calmer moment. And it came, so I meshed the throttle full on, and down the side of the mountain we went. we were really rolling good, and a gust hit us, picked the wing up. So here I'm running down the side of this mountain on one wheel, full opposite aileron. Nothing happened. Just that wood. I wrote that one time, said that wind was like a bulldog, had a grip on that wing, and he wasn't going to let go. We continued down suddenly, and of course the airplane was cocked up on one wheel, and then I became airborne, headed right for this big old rock, and all the opposite control, and the airplane wasn't responding, and that bank angle was sending me right directly for that rock, and all of a sudden the bulldog let go, the airplane banked, and I went over the top of that rock with probably inches to spare. If I'd have hit it, it would have been all over in seconds. But I got back delivered the lady, got her off the airplane in a car to take her to the hospital. And then I had time to think about it, and then I got the shakes. Then Psalm 91 came to mind. The last verse, is it, of the Psalm? So He'll bear us up so we won't stumble on a stone. And praise the Lord. he does it. He did it for me that time. And they couldn't save the baby. They lost the baby. But they did save the lady's life. So she lived